was only a matter of time before the NFL and college football found themselves going head-to-head on television. The NFL has been gobbling up TV real estate for years now. Meanwhile, college football's continual expansion meant these two offshoots of football were bound to collide at some point. However, the football wars feel like they're officially beginning this year with the first round of the college football playoff set to go head-to-head against a solid slate of Saturday NFL games. Some have tried to dismiss this as a coincidence or some minor occasion. Au contraire, mon frère, this is a huge deal. It's pretty much the football equivalent of this moment.
Get him out of here! Somebody call the security guards!
I have always found it to be particularly peculiar that this massive moment in professional wrestling history is taking place in front of the Great Train Store. You can even see a cashier in the background watching on. It's all quite bizarre if you sit down to think about it. So what does this have to do with the college football playoffs going up head-to-head on television against Saturday NFL regular season games? Well, Lex Luger appearing on that very program ushered in the Monday Night War, when WCW Monday Nitro was broadcast at the same time as WWF Raw's War / Monday Night Raw. I've said it before on this channel, and I will say it again to make it clear. It feels like the sport of football in all facets is heading down this very route. College football has become increasingly professional, and professional football is on a Roman army-esque campaign to maximize revenues while making all other sports subservient to it. Something has to give here. It feels as if we are on the start of a push by the National Football League to eventually conquer Saturdays. Ah yes, but what about the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, you say? Yes, that act includes a provision which declares that a pro football telecast is prohibited if a high school or college football game is being played within 75 miles of the broadcasting station on Friday nights or Saturdays from the second Friday in September until the second Saturday in December. Come on, let's get serious here. That seems like an extremely flimsy piece of legislation ripe to be challenged, especially considering just how much college football has changed since it went into effect. And especially considering just what television has become since then. The SBA was signed into law 2 days after Hazel premiered on NBC. Ugh, that show. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about it. I realize no one else cares. Just know this. Hazel, a terrible show. A classic, unfunny 1960s sitcom. It also serves as a reminder that a lot has changed in the 60+ years since the Sports Broadcasting Act first went into effect. Now, I do not think the NFL is in a rush to launch that challenge. Realistically, they probably want more data on how the league fares head-to-head against college football. They saw a victory on Black Friday last year, which had traditionally been a college football mainstay. But if the NFL, with a pair of regular season games, beats the college football playoffs in the TV ratings, well, I think it's only going to be a sign of things to come. Let's not be naive and pretend that the NFL cares about college football, not when they could bring in $1 billion or $2 billion by moving a pair of Sunday games to Saturday during the entire regular season. Even if it costs $200 million in legal fees to get the SBA overturned, the upside to it is just too huge to ignore. Think about it. Amazon is paying $1 billion or so annually to broadcast Thursday Night Football. The NFL would get a huge bag for a Saturday package of games. We can only imagine what a network without a big-time college football TV contract in hand would pay for NFL games, knowing that the NFL is probably the only television property out there capable of beating college football on Saturdays. As much as we football fans love Sundays, love red zones, love everything that comes with it, the National Football League is leaving a huge amount of money on the table by not having games played on Saturday. Primetime games and games not competing with other NFL games are far more lucrative than having 4, 5, 6, or however many games happening at once on Sunday. This is, after all, why the NFL is continuing to expand its presence on Saturdays in December. It's why Thursday Night Football, despite all the complaints about it, remains a thing to this day. The ideal NFL weekly schedule is probably a game on Thursday, 2 on Saturday, 3 windows on Sunday, a game on Monday, and maybe even a game on Tuesday. Sure, absolutely, there's going to be pushback on this, but let's not pretend politicians really want to get engaged with any sort of battle between the NFL and college football. I mean, you're asking them to choose between huge money donors and their voter base. Historically speaking, when it comes to US politics, money talks and people walk. And to think Roger Goodell and friends will do the right thing out of the sake of preserving tradition, I mean, that is just wishful thinking at its utmost core. That brings us to the worst part of all of this. Outside of fans getting the shaft, of course, you can't help but think college football is not ready for a football war. They most likely assume the NFL is their buddy and would never ever turn on them. It's a situation akin to, say, Sting and Ric Flair, or Sting and Lex Luger, or Sting and Ric Flair again. It's just dangerous thinking. You'd have to be an idiot to think they wouldn't turn on you. The NFL exists for one reason and one reason only these days: to make profits. It's putting playoff games behind streaming paywalls, flexing Thursday night football games, fans be damned. It stole Christmas from the NBA, stole Black Friday from college football, and has made a host of other moves for the sake of money. Saturday, it's the final frontier for the NFL. You don't even need to be
I'm Deanna Troy, ship's counselor.
to see that. Sure, college can keep that noon window. Maybe they even try to sneak in some games on the East Coast starting at 10 a.m. so they can have 2 windows for their games before the NFL kicks off at 4 p.m. on Saturdays. They would, on some level, still compete with the pro game, but those ratings, those head-to-head ratings, would most likely resemble WCW in its futile attempts going up against WWF in 2000. Well off the pace and no way to reverse the slide no matter what desperate move they make to pop a rating. The bummer here for me, though, of course, is that fans once again get the short end of the stick. We lose again, just like we have lost with all of the NFL and college football shenanigans over the years. Seriously, when was the last time an owner ever had to sacrifice anything to serve the fans? When was the last time anyone in the entire sport of college football did something for the fans? Alas, when everyone's chasing money, you get what you get. And for college football, the relentless pursuit of money has put them head to head with a beast they just cannot compete with. Now, some out there may be excited about the prospect of more football on Saturdays. It will just make it an even better day for the sport as a whole, and I disagree with that entirely. The Saturday Night Wars will be nothing like the Monday Night Wars when both sides at least had their moments. As much as I love watching college football and the NFL, we know the latter is always going to win. It has proved itself adept at fending off any competition. That is even more true today, with the former having long since sold its soul in a blatant cash grab. College football is becoming increasingly unrecognizable, and it's impossible to see a moment like this happening to turn everything around.
Foley, who wrestled here one time as Cactus Jack, is going to win their world title. Gonna put some butts in the seat.
Hey, at least we can all look forward to those numerous books and podcasts from Greg Sankey talking about how he almost toppled the NFL, a la Eric Bischoff, and the WWF/E. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to know more about why sports streaming has ruined sports watching, video upper right hand corner of your screen, and to understand how George Kliavkoff killed the Pac-12 in 974 days, video lower right hand corner of your screen. Till next time, I'm Cheyenne Hollis. This is The Touchback, and as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.
What in the hell is he doing here?